Washington, D.C., United States Senator Mark Davey.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. It's almost a little scary when people stand up at the beginning of your speech. You know, so there's nowhere to go but down. But thank you very much. That means a lot. To C. Scott, to your board, to all the staff and volunteers and all the many, many friends and supporters of MAPA. This is a night of celebration because, as Doug and Monica said, we all together won many battles in Minnesota during this last year and many elections. And speaking from my perspective of the DFL party, we had a tremendous infusion of new people, new talent, new energies, starting with the precinct caucuses, going on to the party and state convention, and right through the campaigns. On election night, the weekend before election night, I went to 16 different party rallies. And not just rallies, but these were events where people were coming together, like in Minneapolis and St. Paul at 11 o'clock at night, the Monday before the election, to go out and leaflet in the rain for the next couple hours. And obviously it produced tremendous victory for John Kerry and John Edwards here in Minnesota. This is a battleground state. We won the battle very, very well. House DFL caucus, tremendous comeback there. And this has 13 new members there. And that same infusion of talent and energy and people into old and new progressive organizations, political, policy, social, human services. So the congratulations to those who are being honored here tonight. State Senator Mee Mua. She come out to Washington to be a senator, Mee. Mark Ritchie, instrumental in spearheading the victories in so much progressive policy. And America coming together, America votes. Thank you for what you did here. We brought us all together. Thank you. And they're the ones who stood out among so many in this room and elsewhere who stood out throughout this state. All of you have broadened and strengthened our base in Minnesota, progressives, which is our present and even more so our future, leading this state into better months and years ahead. Now obviously we still have our work cut out for us because despite what we accomplished here in Minnesota, we still live under a Republican president. Well, we still live with a Congress that is perilously close to being a one-party governance of this country. And Karl Rove and company intend to make it that way, keep it that way for many years to come. But they haven't reckoned with us. Despite the gains in the Minnesota House, we still live under a Republican governor with an evenly divided legislature. A governor who tries to govern by division and dehumanization, who blames the state's financial problems on Native Americans, social problems on immigrants, and moral problems on Democrats, and then goes to church on Sunday. Well, he and President Bush still try to discredit and destroy government as a positive solution to any problem. Now, I am sick and tired of people who run for elective office with the ideology that government does everything badly, and then if they're elected, they go out to prove themselves correct. They defund our public schools and other vital public services. They partially privatize everything they can. They destroy what we build up. And then they turn around and say, see what a mess we made? That proves government does everything badly. Re-elect us so we can make it worse. But we need to stand together and we need to fight those politics of prejudice, lying, fear-mongering, and pandering to the rich and powerful of this nation while posturing themselves as the party of moral values. We need to tell the people of Minnesota and the people of America who they are and what their policies really are about. They're immoral, they're un-Christian, or they're on any other religion you want to pick, and they're un-American. We need to remind people that allowing for individual differences is what distinguishes democracies from dictatorships. We need to remind them that our state and federal constitutions exist to protect citizens from the Michelle Bachmans of the world. And not to be used by her against them. If we're going to amend the Constitution, let's guarantee a good education to every child. Or affordable health care to every citizen. Or a clean environment to every unborn American. And a peaceful, prosperous planet to everyone. Those are family values. Those are moral values. Those are American values, and those are our values. A living wage with health insurance, a pension, and job security, those are family values, and those are our progressive values. Affordable prescription drugs, universal coverage, and health care for people, not profit, those are moral values, and those are our progressive values. The equal rights of lesbian women and gay men to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are American values, and those are our progressive values. And our progressive policies reflect our values. They are about expanding opportunities, uplifting standards of living, and uniting all Americans on a common path to a better tomorrow, and then inviting the rest of the world to walk down that path along with us. Rather than the narrow, selfish, bigoted, right-wing agenda that divides people against one another, that redivides wealth for the rich, that keeps people down instead of lifting them up, and makes more enemies than friends throughout the world. Their agenda is immoral, irresponsible, dangerous, and wrong. They are wrong for Minnesota, they're wrong for America, and they're wrong for the world. We may be left, but we're right. We're right for Minnesota, we're right for America, and we're right for the world. And now we must prove to Minnesota and America that the left is right and the right is wrong. Now that's not just semantics, that is life and death. That's a moral imperative, and it's a political crusade. It's a battle we must fight, and it's a victory we will win, because working together, all of us, through MAPA, and together we will win. We will win. Thank you very much.
Senator, that did my heart good. Can you hear me with this microphone? I heard that these microphones are really loud, so we'll do this one. The great electoral success progressives saw in Minnesota this year didn't happen in a vacuum, as all of you know, because most of you participated. They happened because of good organizing, because of generous donations, because of hard-working volunteers, volunteers, and because of thoughtful planning by our community's leaders. It is safe to say that we would never have gotten as far as we did this year if it weren't for the leadership of this next person. To introduce MAPA's Award for Progressive Organization, please welcome Clean Water Action's Executive Director, Marie Zeller.
Always just the exact right vitamin shot that I think we all need coming off of elections, good or bad, and to see one another, to be with one another, to celebrate this way. It's a proud tradition that I thank MAPA for, because I think it's good for our spirits, and I think it's good for the movement. It's a great honor tonight to introduce the recipient of the organization, the Campaign of the Year Award. And I think it's especially significant because how many of us in this room, I'm just going to take this off of here because otherwise I have to have really bad posture. How many of us in this room at some point during the last year went out and did any door knocking or phone calling to help get progressives elected to office? Yeah, that's how we do it. And there's this crazy notion that a number of folks had coming into the 2004 that we could actually reach over 400,000 voters. That we could actually mobilize over 9,000 volunteers. That we could actually do something that no one has ever done before. That we can rewrite the book about how progressives campaign and how progressives win. And we're going to make Minnesota a model for the rest of the nation. You know, how many times have we sat down over coffee, over beers, and talked about this? You know, it's like, yeah, if we all work together, you know, like all of our constituencies get out there, we all door knock at the same time. Gosh, how cool that would be, how much we would do. How many times have we said this, okay? All right? Well, you know, extreme major kudos to America Votes and America Coming Together for showing us how that really happens. It becomes more of a coffee competition and beer competition becomes reality. You know, I had the great privilege of working very closely alongside America Votes and America Coming Together in Minnesota, and I understood the model and the concept and the vision that was being put out nationally. And I think what we accomplished here in Minnesota